All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Shai, Ba'ashem Kodash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Stone. Shalom to the elect wishing this word in truth and in serving, with the hope of receiving mercy of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Shai. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father. Yahweh Shai is the name of His only begotten Son. The so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the Israelites according to the prophecies that are written in the scriptures. I want to make it known that the RFID microchip is the MOTB. The serpent juice is the precursor to the MOTB. Yahweh Shai, whom dwelling in the called Jesus, is about to make His return upon earth to deliver His elect and to pour out judgment as it is written. So I'm going to go straight into this lesson concerning conflicts being stirred up, and this is all being done by Yahweh Shai, which is the God of war, because as in Ecclesiastes 3, that they have a time for everything under the sun. And right now, the events them want to see a transpire, it is being orchestrated by first and foremost Yahweh Shai, but you have entities on the earth such as Esau, Edom, which are carry out His will in these last days. So I want to bring forth this piece up and I'm going to play a clip for you. So this is Joel 3 verse 9. It says, "Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up." And people that wonder why we always bring out these precepts over and over and over, because these are the times for these precepts. War is in the air, So now Yahweh Shai had sent an ambassador amongst the Edens, as is written in Obadiah, to prepare war against who? The Edomites. And the Edomites even have a war against them own selves. This is the type of warfare Yahweh Shai had declared in the scriptures. So let me read it once more. So proclaim this amongst the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. So that's why this is so much military preparation, military drills. One of the main things we're transferring now is the block of the Strait of Hormuz. That have a great deal to do with the state of many economies around the world. Verse 10, "Beat your plowshare into swords, and your pruning hook into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong." And the reason why the weak can say they are strong, them have allies such as China and Russia backing them. So them become more bold. So the scripture says, "Your plowshare into swords and your pruning hook into spears." Go back into the money where they use for your agriculture. You see me? Where they want to be even education, the various state of your economy, fix roads or whatever. We route that money into developing new military grade weapons, different fighter jet tankers, different missiles, nukes. Verse 11, "Assemble yourselves and come all ye heathens, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cast thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh." And the mighty ones are talking the angels, because they are the reapers, "Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat," which is down there in the Levant. Look up Levant if you don't know where is the Levant in the Middle East. "For the press is full, the fat." No, Maria. "For there will I sit to judge all the heathens round about." Salakia. Verse 13, "For put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full, the fat overflow, for their wickedness is great. Verse 14, multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of Yahweh is near in the valley of decision. And where did the day of the Lord come with? Darkness and not light. So let's look on this clip.
Pay attention to what BlackRock is doing right now. They're about to completely own Ukraine. More on that part of the story here in a moment. But first, we are in the endgame right now of this war in Ukraine. And we better buckle up, because either we are nearing a moment of total peace, the unconditional surrender of Ukraine to Russia, markets boom around the world with what comes next, investment pours into a shattered Ukraine, sanctions are removed from Russia, energy suddenly returns to Europe, ending their energy crisis. People stop being slaughtered in this senseless NATO proxy war. Or, and this is a big or, we are about to descend into a massive endgame war that obliterates Ukraine. Kiev will be reduced to rubble. Hundreds of thousands will die. And then Russia unleashes the kill shot, taking out Zelensky and what remains of any kind of Ukrainian parliament, as if there's some sort of democracy there. This is the moment we are in right now. And no, it's not hyperbole. Just look at what just happened over the past several days. The mainstream media totally ignored, and what just happened overnight. Russia is launching ballistic missiles at Kiev, and suddenly the Patriot air defense systems are totally silent. Not one interception. Not one. Not one observed launch during multiple attacks. Russia reportedly fired roughly 5 Iskander ballistic missiles at the Ukrainian capital overnight. Every one of them made it through. We can't independently prove that Ukraine has literally exhausted every Patriot interceptor in its inventory. But ask yourself this: if Kiev still has plenty of missiles, why aren't they firing them? Why is Zelensky once again begging the United States and Europe for more Patriot systems? And he keeps blaming the West like it's our fault. Why are there air raid sirens reportedly sounding after some of these missiles have already struck? This is what's happening. This is Kiev, the capital, the most heavily defended city in the entire country. And Russia appears to just be punching right through those defenses with almost no resistance at all. That changes everything. And then just look at the battlefield. Russia has says it's taken Konstantinovka, one of the major fortress cities in Ukraine's remaining Donbass defense belt right now. 2 left. Ukraine, of course, disputes that Russia completely controls the city, but nobody disputes the direction of travel right now. Ukraine is losing territory. Its defensive lines are under enormous pressure. Its manpower crisis is getting worse. Its air defenses are being depleted. And in this fortress city, as friend of the show Rick Sanchez pointed out, the amount of body bags that Russia was trying to hand back to Ukraine was turned down.
What is Zelensky doing? He doesn't want people around the world to know that Ukraine has just lost this town, this important city, Konstantinovka. He doesn't want people to know that. So when the Russians just recently, within the last 24 hours, offered to the Ukrainians to pause the battle so that they can come here and retrieve these bodies, these dead soldiers, right, and take them back to their families, apparently Zelensky said, "Niet, no, don't want them."
I mean, what is the Ukrainian government doing? It's grabbing more men off the streets right now in order to throw them into the massive meat grinder. Just look at these scenes. Recruitment officers surrounding men. Here's a guy on a bike, just grabbing him off the bike, forcing him into a vehicle. Families are screaming. Now crowds are fighting back. People smashing police cars. Riots unfolding over the past 48 hours in the town of Lviv. Ukrainians calling Zelensky a mother effer. Stop sending our young men off to die. And Western politicians call this like defending democracy. Really? That's your citizenry telling you they don't want this war anymore. You cancel elections. You shut down opposition parties. You restrict media. You grab men from public streets, send them into the industrial drone war. And we're supposed to call that democracy? Almost all of these men reportedly receive like limited preparation before being sent towards one of the most dangerous battlefields on earth. Under 2 weeks of training, we've heard. These aren't soldiers in the eyes of Western sponsors. These are inventory. They're just like another warm body that can be used to keep this war going for another week. That's it. Ukraine is a husk of its former self. Professor John Mearsheimer said it plainly. Listen.
Ukraine has effectively been wrecked. It has already lost a substantial portion of its territory and is likely to lose more land before the fighting stops. Its economy is in tatters with no prospect of recovery in the foreseeable future. And according to my calculations, it has suffered roughly 1 million casualties.
Ukraine has been wrecked. But the people who wrecked it are already positioning themselves right now to profit from the massive rebuilding effort. So think about that. The World Bank, you have the European Commission, the United Nations, and Ukraine estimate reconstruction could cost nearly $600 billion over the next decade. I think that number is low, $600 billion. BlackRock may not become Ukraine's biggest creditor, but it could become something even more important, one of the financial institutions deciding who gets access to Ukraine's reconstruction money, its infrastructure, its energy system, its natural resources. So the IMF, the World Bank, they may hold all the debt, but BlackRock is going to help decide where all of that money goes and who profits from the rebuilding of that country. And of course, all of the shareholders within Vanguard and inside BlackRock who could benefit from these contracts. So that means these contracts for roads, bridges, housing power stations, telecommunications, mines, weapons, factories, Patriot missile production, all of it. BlackRock will be there. The World Bank will be there. The IMF will be there. American defense companies will be there. European companies will be there, making all kinds of money. So everyone gets paid except the Ukrainian families burying their sons. And Ukraine will not truly control this rebuilding at all. Ukraine's public debt is already above $200 billion. Billions owed to the IMF, the World Bank, foreign governments. Talk about all of the mineral resources that sit under that country. The copper, the iron ore, everything that's going to enrich all of these foreign governments. So after the war, Ukraine may technically remain a country, but its economy will be controlled by the creditors. Its miners and its minerals will be negotiated away. Its state-owned assets will be prioritized. Its policies will be dictated by the institutions that are holding this debt. And of course, BlackRock will be the umbrella that controls all of it. So first they destroy the country with a proxy war, and then they lend out the money to rebuild it. They collect interest and take control of all of these assets. What a business model, if you can have it, right? But they were planning this for years. And remember, of course, when BlackRock flew in and met with Zelensky, and there was all the big hugging and handshaking. There was multiple camera shoots all featuring this big BlackRock meeting. Yeah, that was even years ago. So right now, and all of the cards are in Putin's hand. Like everyone's, oh, it's Ukraine. No, it's not. They're all in Putin's hand. Putin now faces a historic decision. He can continue this war, endure more drone attacks across Russian cities inside of Russia. Obviously, the Russians that are lined up waiting for gasoline right now because of impact to their Russian oil infrastructure. They could create a closer military cooperation with China, unleash overwhelming force against Kiev, or he can accept a peace settlement, lock in Russia's territorial gains, take control fully of the Donbass, bring an end to this nightmare. Will he? We're hearing, of course, from the Russian side that, as Peskov has said, that Russia, this...
So as you can see, this is the state that Ukraine and Russia is in right now. You know, this is the war climate. We can take a look at what's going on over there between Iran and Israel and America and Lebanon, you know, because Yahweh Hashem Shai has written Matthew, I want to say 10 verse 34, so think not that I have come to send peace on the earth. I have not come to send peace but a sword. This is where you see being done. This is where you see coming to pass. Yahweh Hashem Shai and bring terror upon the earth. Remember when the disciples went unto Yahushua at the Mount of Olives? These were the prophecies that Yahushua gave unto the disciples before his coming, before that great and terrible day of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So I said I didn't want to bring out a lot of praise, but I just wanted to see this clip, to see what's going on, you know. When the world is being distracted by World Cup, you have conflicts taking place around the world, different legislation going through, you know, various bills being passed, turning into act, and people are unaware due to the level of distraction that is in the earth right now. So I hope this will edify me. That I want to say Kalalal, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shalom.